and welcome to the Intel Brief. Today is Tuesday, 8 July. I'm your host, Daniel, and today we're going to talk about Budapest police say they won't prosecute Pride participants. That's a tongue twister. US is lifting the terror designation on HTS, and 10 people have been killed in anti-government protests in Kenya. So firstly, police in Budapest have announced on Monday that they will not initiate any legal proceedings against participants of the Pride Parade that occurred in the Hungarian capital at the end of June, despite the ceremony being prohibited. The decision from police comes amid fears that those who took part could face fines, with the organisers possibly facing jail time. Pride parades are held across the globe, and Budapest police said in a statement that this year's organisers created public uncertainty about the event's legal status. Among them was the Budapest mayor, who is seen as liberal, and declared Pride an official municipality event and argued this renders the government ban irrelevant. According to the law in Hungary, municipal and state occasions are exempt from public assembly decisions. In a statement on Monday, the Budapest police said they would not initiate any legal proceedings against participants and came to believe that the march was legal due to comments by organisers and due to the participation of the municipal government, being the mayor. The mayor is currently under police investigation for the last 4 days, with organisers of the prohibited gathering under threat of up to 1 year in prison. The Prime Minister Viktor Orban described the event as repulsive and shameful, and accused the EU of orchestrating the march. So what? For those who don't know Hungarian politics, Orban, the Prime Minister of Hungary, is extremely unpopular in the capital, as you may suspect. So while this protest was also a celebration of Pride, as you might expect, it was likely also seen as an anti-government celebration, as Orban is currently losing favour in the country pretty rapidly. It'll be interesting to see if they do try and take legal action against the Budapest mayor, who is anti-Orban and seen as quite powerful, especially leading into the elections next year that Orban is currently trailing to a former party member called Major Peter. So that'll be interesting. And next, the Trump administration has moved to lift the terror designation for the Islamic group Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or HTS, in Syria, according to an unpublished memo seen by news agencies on Monday. HTS has been designated as a foreign terrorist organization by the United States for years now. It was originally the Syrian branch of al-Qaeda and was known as the al-Nusra Front before it changed its name and cut ties with al-Qaeda. HTS spearheaded the 2024 offensive that overthrew the regime of former Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad and is now overseeing a transition period. The US notice is set to be published today, and the memo said that revocation goes into effect upon publication. So what? This change in designation is probably designed to help the current US government work with the current leadership of Syria, as currently doing so would be, working with a terror organization, because HTS is designated a terrorist organization currently. While it's likely this is just more of a official thing, it shouldn't be forgotten, right? The government needs to remember where the current Syrian leadership came from and, their roots. I talked about it many times in the past, but I do think working with the current government of Syria is a positive idea, but it needs to be tempered with, the knowledge of where these people came from. They are, at the end of the day, still terrorists. Yeah. And lastly, at least 10 people have died in anti-government protests in Kenya as of Monday evening, according to a statement released by the state-funded Kenyan National Commission of Human Rights. Police earlier this morning had closed roads leading into the capital, Nairobi, to block protesters from rallying in the city centre, was reported. A police statement released late Monday said that over 560 people have been arrested around the country during Monday's protests. The statement, which was released by the Human Rights Commission, established that 11 people had been killed and dozens of police officers had been injured. Protests on Monday were commemorating the July 7th demonstrations known as Saba Saba, Swahili for 7-7, the first major protests in Kenya that took place 35 years ago. Those protests called for a transition from a one-party state to a multi-party democracy, with the first multi-party elections taking place in 1992. Today, protests are demanding their president resigns over allegations of corruption. So what? Sadly, there's some pretty high levels of government violence to crack down on protesters. It's likely due to not having really any other option to quell demonstrators. From what I understand, the Kenyan police do not have any less than lethal options, such as rubber bullets or the likes. They do, from what I can see, have tear gas, but the Kenyan protesters seem undeterred by tear gas. It seems pretty unlikely that things will change. The Kenyan government doesn't seem willing to give in to any of these protests in recent weeks, and I don't think this will change anytime soon. Sadly, some of the issues are kind of out of their control, though corruption and poor governance is a leading issue. The high cost of living is something that is being seen globally due to current wars around the globe, mainly. That has been your Intel Brief. I've been your host, Daniel, and I'll see you again tomorrow. See you.